Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is the English translation of the Majlis of Hazrat Maulana Qamruzzama Sahab Damat Barakatuhum, which took place on Monday morning at about 9:30 a.m. Monday, the 30th of Jumadul Akhirah, 1444, corresponding with the English date, 23rd of January 2023. Hazrat Wala is speaking about the great wali of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Hazrat Maulana Muhammad Hussain Farooqi allahabadi rahimahullah ta'ala. Now Hazrat Wala starts and he speaks about him. He starts reading about him, and we come to this point here, Da'ira Shah Muhibbullah. Now this is situated in Kate, Ganj Mahalla, where the great grandfather of Maulana Muhammad Hussain Sahab allahabadi rahimahullah, Shaykh Kabir Hazrat Muhibbullah ilahAabadi, arrived from Sadarpur. He settled down in this area and began imparting the internal and external sciences. Later on, his children moved from here and settled down in Bahadur Ganj Mahalla. This area is now known as Da'ira Shah Muhibbullah. Now, by the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is where the famous Jalsa and the gathering of the Muslims of this city, meaning Islahul Muslimin, takes place through the permission of Hazrat Shah Ubaidullah Sahab. Shah Ubaidullah rahimahullah passed away on the 19th of December 1992. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Now Hazrat Maulana Muhammad Hussain Sahab is from amongst the founding members of Nadwatul Ulama. However, due to a lack of amicability with some of the members, he resigned from his post in 1313 Hijri. Details in this regard can be found in the original book. Now let us tell you about his spiritual training. He performed Hajj 4 times. During the first Hajj, he pledged bay'at to Hazrat Shaykh Haji Imdadullah rahimahullah, who then taught him certain forms of dhikr and paid special attention to him. He made khas tawajjuh on him. On the occasion of the second Hajj, Hazrat Haji Imdadullah rahimahullah conferred a written decree of khilafat to him. With this, he gave him a topi, a comb, a miswak, and a long jubba. It was not his intention to return to his hometown, but Hazrat Haji Imdadullah Sahab said to him, "Go back to India. If you remain here, you will benefit yourself only, and if you return, you will benefit others as well. You're staying here. The benefit of it is lazim. But if you go to India, the benefit of it there will be muta'addi." Now, subhanallah, glory be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These are words of real cognition. Benefit which is passed on to others is superior to personal benefit. Now some people say this year negative about Hazrat Maulana Muhammad Hussain ilahAabadi, and some people write about this. I even caution them about that, Hazrat Wala is saying. And Hazrat Maulana Ali Mia Sahab has also written so much in his praise. Now we go on to his irshadat and his statements. Hazrat Shah Muhibbullah ilahAabadi says, "Sunnat ke mutabik तहारत करने में जो अनवार पैदा होते हैं, वो अज़कार व अशगाल में भी बाज़ दफ़ा नहीं पैदा होते." Allahu Akbar. The light, the noor and effulgence which develops from wudu in the sunnah way can sometimes not even be acquired from dhikr and other spiritual practices. Subhanallah. Now Hazrat Wala writes a footnote there and he says, Akhir sunnat kiski hai? हुजूर सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम की सुन्नत है ना, तो फिर इस पर अमल से क्यों न नूर पैदा होगा. Allahu Akbar. After all, whose sunnat is it? It is the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Why then should effulgence, nur, not result by practicing on it? In another of his malfuz, he says that if I was given power for even a few days, I would wage jihad against those who make taziyas, effigies, and kill them. I will make jihad on them and I will kill them. Note, Hazrat Wala is writing here, just think about it. Look at how Hazrat Maulana ilahAabadi rahimahullah spoke out against the practice of taziyas. He is even referring to it as a jihad against them. If people still do not desist from this practice, it will be most shocking, especially the people of Allahabad, because they too consider Hazrat Maulana ilahabadi as a saint, an alim whom the people of bid'at accept as their leader and guide, has also spoken out strongly against the practice of taziyas. Despite all of this, when something affects the carnal self, no one is prepared to pay heed. It is the norm amongst Muslims to practice on those malfuzat, those statements of the Sufis which are in line with their nafs and their desires. But if they say anything which is in the least bit against their likes, they will cast it aside. Now we seek refuge in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In yet another malfuz, he goes on to say, people who used to shave off their beards used to come and present themselves to Hazrat rahimahullah. He would receive them very warmly. We're talking about Hazrat Maulana Shah Muhammad Hussain Sahab ilahAabadi. So someone said to him, how come you receive such people with such warmth and kindness? He replied, their mere coming here is of benefit to them. If I were to be stern and harsh to them, they will stop coming entirely and they will be deprived of the benefit of coming here. Now Hazrat Wala writes a footnote here saying that Subhanallah, glory be to Allah, what words of wisdom. At the same time, one ought to resort to wisdom and sound admonishment and continue speaking about the virtues of keeping a beard. If not today, then there will come a time when they will show an interest in applying the sunnah. People ought to be told that to keep a 1 fist long beard is wajib according to all 4 imams. In this way, its importance will settle in their minds. Now, we just spoke about that point there of taharat, that so much of nur, etc. Will be achieved, that sometimes even in dhikr and spiritual practices, such nur is not acquired. Now, Hazrat Wala is saying, just yesterday I said to Abdullah, that this risala of taharat of Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab, get it out and get it printed. There was a murid, Hazrat Wala is quoting this incident, that made wudu, and then he says to his shaykh and his mentor that I'm seeing such a great type of nur. So the shaykh then gives him good orientation by telling him, listen my brother, that nur is not the nur of accomplishment. It's not the nur of wusul that you have reached Allah. Rather, you have hardly even started. That is only the nur of your wudu. Now Hazrat Khajam Muhammad Masoom says, here we speak so much about the nur of the heart. But when we go on that side into the akhirat, there will be such a type of nur that will be attached to the limbs of the body where a person read salat and carried out wudu, that so much will that noor be, and so overwhelming it will be, that dil bhi sharmayega, that even the noor of the heart will then feel ashamed. So we learn from all of this that we should make wudu in the most beautiful manner. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab used to take a very long time in performing his wudu. So much, so meticulous, so particular, so cautious, so peacefully he would carry out this wudu. And then, after carrying out this wudu, he would read his dhuhr, and then his asr, and then his maghrib, and many times he would even read his isha. Now this is the ma'mulat of our buzurgan-e-deen. I mean, we just go like this under the tap, that's it. But we should wash completely, thoroughly, properly 3 times. Not just like how we do today, that's not sufficient. What to do? Wudu, namaz ka dang nahi. Abhi tak हम लोगों को वुजू और नमाज का दंग नहीं अभी तक हम लोगों को. We don't even know how to even make wudu up till now. This is the halat of us today. Kya kiya jaye? What to do? I have seen the wudu of Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab. I have seen the wudu of Hazrat Maulana Abraham al-Haq Sahab. He would never want to even make a wudu without his lota, without his container. We carry on, and in another of his malfuz and golden statements he says, a pilgrim leaves with the intention of going to the house of Allah. On reaching there, he ought to experience a settling down effect. Yet, he is ordered to move, meaning go on. He must still make tawaf, etc. Go ahead, so that he realizes that reaching the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not the object. Rather, the object is to reach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this has not been realized as yet. Even if it is acquired, a person cannot sit back, because a genuine lover is restless even when he reaches his beloved. Now, subhanallah, Hazrat Wala is saying, these are real words of wisdom and cognition which can only be uttered by the Ahlullah. Now, Hazrat Wala is saying about this particular malfuz, about a pilgrim and a haji going to Baytullah. He says, leave alone all of his ta'limat. Just his this one malfuz is sufficient for us. That in whatever condition you remain, continue making the ibadat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whether you in the marketplace or you in the masjid, wherever you are, even if you go in the marketplace, at that time also there is ibadat. Read and carry out your adhkar and this kalima and that kalima. Now look at the mutual acknowledgement of greatness. A molana came to Hazrat Maulana Muhammad Hussain ilahAabadi and said, he engaged him in a discussion about Tawheed. When Hazrat Rahimahullah gave him a convincing answer, the Maulana was overjoyed and said, I did not receive such information from even Maulana Rashid Ahmad Gangohi. That was what he said. When Hazrat Rahimahullah heard the statement, he said, Maulana Gangohi is a very great person. He did not get happy. He said, Hazrat Maulana Gangohi was a very great person. The spirit of the Sahaba radiyallahu ta'ala anhum is found in him. When this Maulana went to Maulana Gangohi, he related the entire incident to him. Maulana Gangohi goes on to say, Maulana allahabadi said this out of humility. He ought to have said, Rashid Ahmad is not of this level as yet. Rashid Ahmad is not of this level as yet. Allahu Akbar. Now Hazrat Wala writes a faida there, and he says, just think. Look at the mutual love and respect which the co-khulafa had. They used to acknowledge each other's excellences without hesitation. This notwithstanding the fact that they differed on certain minor issues such as the issue of sama. If only this quality of the seniors was adopted by us as well. Hazrat Muslihul Ummah used to relate that a murid of Hazrat allahabadi went to Hazrat Maulana Rashid Ahmad Gangohi. When he returned, he described Maulana Gangohi to Maulana allahabadi in his own unique Valija language, going on to say, I went to Gango. I saw your Pir Bhai. He is full of light and effulgence. Now, subhanallah, Hazrat Wala is saying, what a comprehensive way of praising Hazrat Gangohi. And it seems as though that murid too was a man of Allah. How else could he have made such a statement? How else could he have made such a statement? Now we come and we speak about his students. His students include the following: Molana Shah Ainul Qudat Sahab Lucknowi Rahimahullah, the founder of Madrasa Furqaniya in Lucknow. Number 2, Maulana Hakim Abdul Hay Sahab Lucknowi Rahimahullah, the father of Hazrat Maulana Abul Hasan Ali Nadwi. Allahu Akbar. And the third one was Maulana Hakim Ahmad Hussain Sahab Uthmani Allahabadi. Okay. We come on, we go on to the part of his demise. He was overcome by an internal spiritual condition and therefore developed an interest in Sama. He adhered to it and passed away in Ajmer while he was in the state of Sama. While in Ajmer, a Qawwal quoted an extract of Hazrat Abdul Quddus Gangohi Rahimahullah. The moment he heard the couplet, he was overcome by ecstasy, fell into prostration and passed away. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. To Allah we belong and to Him is our return. Now this incident took place on the 8th of Rajab 1332 Hijri, and he was buried in Ajmer. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala illuminate his resting place. Ameen. Now Hazrat Wala thereafter goes on to make a dua, and he goes on saying, okay, before he even starts with the dua, he says that it was his grand habit, Hazrat Maulana Muhammad Hussain Sahab, then when he came to the month of Hajj, Zul Hijjah, he would spend a lot in that particular month. Then after that, Hazrat Wala starts the dua, and he's saying, our Sufiji, his wife had passed away, and the janaza will be carried out after the Dhuhr Salat. Now let us also just read here a bit, and so that we can send the rewards. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin, Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in, ihdinas siratal mustaqim, siratal ladhina an'amta alayhim, ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. Qul a'udhu bi rabbil falaq min sharri ma khalaq, sharri ghasiqin idha waqab. Thereafter, Hazrat Wala says, whatever we have recited, let us send and convey the reward of that to the wife of Sufiji, and let him also have a share of this Sufiji. Let him also have that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala unite his wife with him. He is already in the akhirat, and may Allah ta'ala make it easy for those members of the family who are still here. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq and the hidayat of staying well established on the deen and passing away on this deen as well. And the Sahaba also had this concern that, oh Allah, make the best day of my life the last day. And how would that day become the best day of your life? Is when you are well established on the deen and you live in the most beautiful manner. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم بحرمة سيد النبي الكريم صلى الله عليه وسلم.